Kia ora Year 12, here are the answers to the algebra quiz we did last week. I suggest that you get your test and you work through this on a piece of paper as we go. You might want to pause the video before each slide and retry each question. So number 1, simplify 2a cubed times 3ab squared. I'm going to do this in two parts. So this term expands to be 8, 2 cubed, a cubed, times 3ab squared. Now we multiply the numerical terms together. So we have 24, a to the power of 4, b squared. Right, so remember our rules here. We are simply adding the powers when I've got the same base. So a to the power of 3 times a to the power of 1 gives me a to the power of 4. That's a 2 there. Okay, next one is the same thing. Numbers first. 3 divided by 12 is 4. I've got an x here. So this is x to the power 1 over x squared. So I've got x in the denominator. And I've got y squared and y here. So y squared divided by y is simply y. So my answer is y over 4x. Okay, simplify c over 2 plus c over 5. Now, quite a few of you need to do some fractions revision. When we add fractions with different denominators, well, we need to make the denominators the same. So in this case, the common denominator needs to be a multiple of 2 and 5. The lowest common multiple of 2 and 5 is 10. So c over 2, half of c, is the same as 5c over 10. And c over 5 is the same as 2c over 10. So my answer here is 7c over 10. It's not c 2c over 7. Okay, so we can't simply add the 2 and the 5, even though your brain, some of your brains is telling you that that's what you wanted to do. So 7c over 10. Right, the next one. Now, we're looking for the number that will multiply together, the same number that will multiply together to give us 16y to the power of 16. So what number will give me 16? Well, 4. Now, what power of y will multiply together to give me y to the power of 16? Well, let's look at what most of you did, which was y to the power of 4. And you did that because you saw the 16 and you saw the square root sign, your brain said 4, okay, but y to the power of 4 times y to the power of 4 won't work because it will add to give me 8. So the correct answer in this case is 4y to the power of 8. Okay, we're going to look at fractional powers a little bit more in class, so this is one that I will pull out and do in a starter in different ways over the next few weeks. Okay, expand and simplify. This question was well done. Just watching negative signs. So we've got 3x minus 12 minus 6 plus 2x, right? Be careful that we've got a minus 2 here. So that minus 2 times the negative x is a plus. So we have 5x minus 18, collecting up the like terms. Next question is expanding a quadratic. Right, so we have 6x squared plus 15x minus 2x minus 5, which is 6x squared plus 13x minus 5. We're going to do lots of practice at those in algebra later this year. Okay, next slide. Oh, not sure where it's gone. There we are, found it. Okay, next couple of questions were factorising ones. Here we've got a common factor. So look for common factors first before you start trying to do a bracket, bracket, quadratic, because here we had a common factor of 4y. So 4y times what gives me y? 4y squared, 4y times y, take away 2. Right, next one. Right, so it's got the typical quadratic pattern. Pop down your two brackets and take a look. X times x will give me what squared? So, two numbers that multiply to 10 and add up to negative 7. So it must be a minus minus, so it's going to be 5 and 2. Next slide. Okay, I'm going to do every single line of working in here as if we were back in year 9, just to make sure, because some of you are needing to revise these. So we've got 2x plus 5 equals x take away 7. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do is subtract x from both sides. So 2x plus 5 minus x equals x minus 7 minus x. Certainly not expecting most of you to be writing that line down, but I want you to see what's going on. So here we've got x plus 5 equals negative 7. And now I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. X plus 5 minus 5 equals negative 7 minus 5. Right, so what I'm doing there is I'm just balancing the whole way through. I'm doing exactly the same operation to left and right hand sides, and I'm left with x equals negative 12. And we can check that back. 2 times negative 12 is negative 24 plus 5, which is negative 19. Oh, where's my negative sign gone? There it is. And that's equal to negative 12 minus 7, so we're happy with that. Now, as I said, I wouldn't expect all of that working. Probably what you would be showing me is this line here, right, and then this line here. That would be fine. Okay, next question. X plus 1 divided by 3 is equal to x minus 1. Well, there's an invisible bracket around there. Our denominator sign acts as brackets. So the first step here is to multiply left and right hand sides by 3. So x plus 1 is equal to 3, x minus 1. X plus 1 equals 3x minus 3. Oopsie, run out of room. So we get, adding 3 to both sides, 4 equals 2x. X equals 2. Right, let's have a look at that. Does that work? Well, we've got 2 plus 1 over 3, which is equal to 1. And 2 take away 1 is equal to 1, so we're happy. Next slide. Right, solve. 5 minus 2y is less than 3, right? So as soon as we see this inequality, we need to be thinking about whether we're ever dividing or multiplying by a negative number. So we have here 5 minus 2y is less than 3. We're going to subtract 5 from both sides. We get negative 2y is less than 3 take away 5, which is negative 2. Now I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2, which means that this becomes a greater than sign, so negative 2 over 2. Y is greater than 1. Right, now it's always good to check your solutions to equations, but it's especially good when you've got an inequality. And I like to do a wee number line. So there's my 1 on my number line. So let's pop in a value of y that's a little bit bigger than 1. So let's think about what happens when y is 2. Well, we have 5 minus 2y, so 5 minus 4 is equal to 1, and that's less than 3. So that makes us happy that we've got our sign the right way around. And if we put in 1 exactly, we'll see that it's the switching over point from negative to positive. So 5 minus 2 times 1 is equal to 3. Okay, so we're happy with that. Right. Okay, next question. D squared plus 4d plus 3 equals 0. So again, it's a quadratic. And we've got two brackets, so put down the two brackets. We've got d plus 3, or d plus 1, because multiplying those two will give me 3, and adding 3 and 1 gives me 4. So two solutions, D equals -3 or D equals -1. Right, make S the subject of the formula. So multiply both sides by 3. 3p equals S squared plus 1. S squared is equal to 3p minus 1. Now, many of you did well getting down this far. The next step is to say that S is equal to the square root of 3p minus 1. But S could be either a positive or negative square root there. So we need to put in a plus or minus sign. If you found the algebra test really, really hard, I don't want you to worry too much about this just yet. You've got other things you need to be focusing on. But if you got most of it right, then what's going on here is that when we take a square root, if we just write that, the square root of 36, that means 6. So if we want to indicate the number that squares to give me 36, we need to write plus or minus root 36. Okay, I hope that's as clear as mud. I will go through that in class some more. Right, next question, last question, solve these equations. Well, you've got y equals 2x plus 3, and here you've got a y term. So substitution's by far the easiest way to go. So we're going to substitute this one into this term. So 2x plus 3 is 9. 4x equals 6. X equals 6 over 4, which is the same as 3 over 2, right? That's a much nicer, 3 over 2 is a much nicer way to write x. Now, last thing we need to do that some of you forgot is that we need a y value. So we need to shove it back in there, and we get y is equal to 2 times 3 over 2 plus 3, which equals 6. Now we can check that with our second equation. I'm running out of space, so I'll just do that out loud. So I've got 2 times 3 over 2, which gives me 3, and 6 more does in fact give me 9. So the answer is x is 3 over 2 and y equals 6.